Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com. For everyone watching, if you've shared this video on my channel and help support the awesome bands I feature, and today I'm here with Love to Hate. How you doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing today, Michael?
Good, good. It's great to have you.
Well, thank you for having me.
You want to start off and give us a little history about the band? Tell us how the band started off and came to be.
So many moons ago on a stormy Tuesday night, not really, but so the band started in early 2015. The founder of the band and our lead guitarist, Frank Killian, put out an ad on Craigslist, of all places, looking for musicians. And our original vocalist, Butch Howell, answered him. He found a drummer through work. And how he found me was I was already playing in another band at the time, and Frank happened to know the lead vocalist of that band and just happened to walk in on rehearsal one day. And Love to Hate was looking for a bass player, and he saw me, and we were both trying to recruit each other to the other person's band. Me and Frank were kind of dancing around each other for about a month until eventually Frank just invited me out to breakfast one day and was like, "Look, what are you wanting to do with music? Here's our goal, here's our structure, here's how we're going to get there. I don't see that happening for you in this other band." And after just having a long talk about it, and I ended up just saying, yeah, screw it, and went with Frank, and we formed the band that would become Love to Hate, and that's how the original lineup came to be. And we've been tearing it up ever since, playing with these big national bands, and we released a record in 2018, and unfortunately everything kind of came to a little bit of a halt in April of 2019. Our original vocalist Butch passed away very suddenly. We literally were with him the night before, like we had rehearsal, and then woke up the next morning to the news that he had passed away in his sleep. And those of us that remained ultimately decided to keep going, and that's when we found our current vocalist, Doc St. Andre, who actually we had known before. He was bartender at a venue that we played at a few times. Had no idea he could sing, and then he submitted to us an audition recording. He did an acoustic version of our song "Burn," and just said, "Here, check this out." And we were blown away by it. And as soon as we heard that, Frank and I knew he was the guy. And then fast forward about a year later, we had always had in the back of our mind we wanted a second guitar player to kind of just fill that space live, but we wanted it to be the right guy that brought more than just playing guitar to the table. And we had a guy that was running sound for us that we knew was a good guitar player. But while he was running sound for us, we got to really know Marshall and build a strong friendship and a bond with him. And I joke with him and I say that we offered him a spot in the band so we don't have to pay him as the sound guy anymore. But we offered him the spot as our fifth member and to be our rhythm guitar player, and he's been amazing. And I've never been able to write songs faster with somebody than I have been with Marshall. And Troy, our current drummer, he's still the little baby new guy. He's only been in the band maybe about 8 or 9 months. And because we had a little bit of a lineup change right around the time of recording Solid Ground, and we were on the hunt for a new drummer, and me and Frank had known Troy for a couple of years because he had been in other bands and we had played with those bands, and knew him to be an amazing drummer. He expressed his interest in the position as well. So we were like, okay, here's the Burn record. Learn it and let's see what you come back with. And a week later he came back, played every song perfectly, beat for beat, and was just perfect, and offered him the spot in the band that very same day. So that's the short synopsis of our 6-year career thus far. And it may be cliche to say, but I believe the current iteration of Love to Hate is probably the strongest we've ever been.
Awesome. I've actually talked to a few bands that have started off from Craigslist, so it's interesting to hear you guys as well.
I didn't even know Craigslist was still a thing even back then. Like, I've never really explored Craigslist.
Yeah, it's wild. Now, tell us about your latest single, Solid Ground. I mean, I see it topping the charts, doing really well. Great song.
Man, that's been a little bit surreal for us because, you know, when we released the Burn record, it was released with basically no attention at all. Um, and then we released this song and it just kind of explodes. You know, the music video is doing great. It's charting well. As of right now, we're number 17 on the Foundations charts and we're number 28 on the Billboard Rock Indicator charts. Like, we're right next to like Fozzy and the Pretty Reckless, that's wild to us. Like, and yeah, we're just really thankful for the attention the song is getting. We're really thankful for the attention the video is getting. And yeah, man, it's just wild for us that like something that we created is making people happy, it seems.
So now your next single, you've got to set the bar higher, right?
So about that, tracking may or may not already be completed on a couple new songs. I can neither confirm nor deny right now, but you'll be hearing new music from us before the year is over.
Awesome. And similar style of direction of music?
Well, it's gonna uniquely sound like us, but I don't think they sound necessarily like Solid Ground, but it still sounds like us. Because one thing to understand about Solid Ground is we recorded that song in October of 2020, so almost a year ago is when we wrote and recorded that song. And we sat on it so long because, and it still is, it's kind of like making a resurgence, but back then COVID was huge. And like I said, it still is, and it's making a resurgence, and I hope everybody's being safe. But at the time, you know, if we had released it in January, we wouldn't have been able to do anything with it. We couldn't go play shows with it or tour with it because everything was still shut down. So that's why we sat on it for so long before releasing it. But since that time, we've still been writing and improving, and like these new songs, like I said, they still sound like us, but you know, we're in a different headspace now than when we wrote Solid Ground. So I would say the songs are a little bit more mature. A couple of the songs we're working on are a little heavier than Solid Ground. There's one song we're working on that we haven't started tracking yet, but there's one song we're working on that maybe dips its toe a little bit into the prog realm a little bit. So yeah, I like I said, it's gonna sound like us, but I can't really guarantee what you're gonna get.
So basically you're saying timing's pretty important when you pick to release the next song.
It's extremely important. It's extremely important because, like, if you release a song on the same day as Metallica, nobody's gonna know who you are. You know what I mean? But and so you want to kind of plan, you know, your impact date, or you're kind of gonna get lost in the shuffle, especially when you're still at like our development stage.
I want to talk about your background. It's an awesome background with the comics. Is that a inspiration for your music a little bit?
No, not really. I've just been a little bit of a nerd since I was a kid, and all of this stuff was either bought for me by by Frank, our lead guitar player, or Ross or Burks. Oddly enough, has like some of the coolest like comic book stuff. My wife is also a big nerd, so some of this is her doing as well. But yeah, I like the aesthetic.
Yeah. So you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, man, the next couple months we actually have a slew of them. So August 20th we'll be at Cockeyed Charlie's here in Mobile, Alabama. It's our favorite local venue to play. We haven't played a show in a good while because we've been in the studio, so this is kind of like a knock the rust off and get back at it. September 3rd, we'll be playing Onyx Fest in Jacksonville, Florida at the 1904 Music Hall. September 16th, we'll be at Holland Malls in Jackson, Mississippi as direct support for Tommy Vexed with his solo outing. September 24th, we'll be at the Daphne Civic Center with Hinder and Tantric. September 30th, we'll be at the Cannery in Biloxi with Blacktop Mojo. And then in October, we have this. I can't announce exactly what it is yet because it hasn't been announced. But we're doing something really cool in Biloxi for 4 dates in October that we're really kind of excited about. They're really cool. So definitely be on the lookout for an announcement about that. But yeah, we're kind of busy for the next couple months.
It's very awesome to see the names you're sharing the stage with, the well-known bands.
We've had the fortunate pleasure in our 6-year career of opening for and being direct support for quite a few nationally known bands. If over the last 6 years, I'd say that number is maybe a little over 20. And we've been very fortunate. We've even gotten to be direct support for a legend such as Lita Ford, and that was still one of my favorite shows we've ever played. It was one of the last shows with Butch, actually. And yeah, we've been very fortunate.
And do you have some bands you'd like to still share the stage with? I'm sure.
Oh God, yeah. I'd love to share the stage with Seven Dust, Tremonti. I mean, there's a lot, and I mean, like I said, there's a lot we've had the pleasure of sharing the stage with. But there's a lot of bands that we would love to share the stage with and tour with, and really, we're just thankful for any opportunity we get to play. Like, if somebody is willing to come and see 5 stupid monkey idiots play on stage and just jump around, like, awesome. We're very thankful for that.
Now, if people want to look you up online, get your music on social media, how do they do that?
So, as far as where you can find our music, we're available on all digital platforms, whichever is your favorite: Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon Music, Rhapsody, all of that. We're anywhere you stream music, you can find us. Definitely check out our YouTube channel so you can see the awesome video to our new single, Solid Ground. As far as our social medias, we're extremely active on Facebook, and we actually have a fan group on Facebook that you can interact with us directly instead of just blind messaging our band page. You can interact with us directly on this Facebook group. Every single member of the band is in that Facebook group and act just as stupid in that Facebook group. You can find us on Twitter at LoveTheHate2. You can find us on Instagram at LoveTheHate_official. Troy and Frank have TikToks because they're insane. But we're pretty much on all social medias.
Awesome. And I want to ask, how did the name Love to Hate come to be?
That was a smart-ass comment by one Frank Killian. So when this group joined, we had kind of all come from other bands that were kind of known in the area. And when we left those bands to start this band, some of our former employers, let's say, were not all that happy about it. So we were kind of just in the band room, we were just kind of discussing, and like, you know, we were like, man, it sucks that like people feel this way and that. But Frank is a don't give a damn kind of person, and he was like, I don't care. I love the hate. That means we're doing something right. And everybody kind of was just like, wait, what'd you say? say that one more time, because like it just rolled. And we were like, all right, we're just gonna embrace it. Fine, that's the band name.
Awesome. Yeah, you said you might be doing some heavier material in the future, and I kind of think it fits the kind of aggressive name, Love to Hate.
Well, a part of that too is myself and Marshall subscribe to the heavier side of rock and metal. Like, you can catch me rolling up to the band space listening to black metal half the time. And I play bass in an active rock band. Figure that one out. But, so, like, some of, at least mine and Marshall's heavier riff ideas do kind of peek through in some of these new stuff.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to what you have coming up in the future.
Definitely looking forward to it. We're very excited about this new music we're putting out.
Well, it was great talking with you and having you, and everybody look them up.
Please.
And for everyone watching, I've linked your music in the video description for everyone to check out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael.